So my best buddy Ethan was engaged to my girlfriend, and they were both totally scheming against me. It's insane, like something out of a bad TV movie, but that's my life now. We grew up together in this tiny town, Ethan and me. We were practically attached at the hip from grade school all the way through high school. After graduation, we went to different colleges. I did software engineering. He went into business. We stayed in touch a little, but after we graduated, 5 years ago or so, it became just random texts and Facebook likes. 8 months back, things were going great for me. I had a sweet job, senior developer, making $140,000 a year, a new house, some savings, not rich, but pretty comfortable. Then Melissa walked into my life. We met on one of those dating apps, and after our first coffee, I was smitten. She was stunning, sharp, and thought every stupid thing I said was hilarious. 3 months later, she had a key to my place. 6 months in, she was practically begging me to get married. Looking back, the warning signs were screaming at me. She was way too interested in my money, kept pushing to see my investments, saying she wanted to learn, and badgering me about joint accounts. You know, the whole serious couples thing. She even grilled me about my life insurance and whether my parents had any cash. Then 2 weeks ago, I got a text from Ryan, another guy I knew back home. He just flat out asked, "Dude, how does it feel to have your girlfriend and Ethan engaged at the same time? I saw their anniversary post. Seriously, what are the odds?" So get this, both of them are getting hitched this year. Crazy, right? I called Ryan and he was totally baffled when I told him Melissa was my girlfriend. Turns out Ethan and Melissa had been together for 5 years and got engaged last summer. Then, like magic, she moved to my town for this new job and bam, she pops up on the dating app I use. I had to hire a private investigator. He dug up the whole mess. Ethan's businesses had tanked and he was up to his neck in debt. The Pie found out about their whole thing through social media and stuff like that. Melissa even had documents laying out their plan. The whole thing was written down. They actually made jokes about me in those documents. He had no clue we'd been together for years, the total sap. Always was, to be honest. Their plan. Melissa was going to push for marriage, ditch me after a year, claiming I abused her emotionally, and walk away with half my stuff in the house. For 2 weeks, I played it cool, gathering evidence, talking to a lawyer and even the police. Tonight, Melissa thinks I'm taking her to some fancy place to propose. I also invited Ethan, saying I had some big news and wanted to catch up. My lawyer's gonna be there and the cops will be close by. I'll fill you in tomorrow. Okay, so update, holy crap. Last night was insane. I picked Melissa up at 7:00. She was all dressed up, you know, kept touching her ring finger. The whole drive, she was texting like crazy. Definitely Ethan. So I'd set up a private room at this restaurant, you know, based on what my investigator had figured out about their texting and stuff. When we got there, I had her go in first. I told the hostess I wanted a surprise bottle of champagne. Her face when she saw Ethan already sitting there was unbelievable. "What the hell? Ethan, what are you doing here?" she practically screamed. Poof, gone was the sweet act. "Surprise," I said, trying to keep it cool. "I thought it'd be good for all of us to chat. You two have so much in common after all, like being engaged while she's dating me." Ethan tried to make a run for it, but my lawyer stepped in and told him to sit down. Then came the whole pathetic mess of lies, blaming each other, and tears. Melissa said I was totally misunderstanding their friendship. Ethan pretended he had no clue she was my girlfriend, said she'd told him we'd broken up. I played them an audio recording of Melissa and me talking about wedding plans from just the week before. Then I laid out all the evidence my Pie had dug up, screenshots of their social media posts going back years, even their engagement announcement. Stuff from Melissa's cloud storage. She'd used my Wi-Fi without even bothering to secure her accounts. Bank statements showing money transfers after she'd borrowed my credit card for groceries. Their faces went from "we're not guilty" to "holy crap" to total panic. Melissa actually tried to grab my phone, but I held on to it tight. "And that," I told them, "is just the tip of the iceberg. The cops have the whole story now." Ethan completely lost it. "You think you're so damn smart," he snarled. "Always the golden boy, full ride, perfect job, the whole 9 yards. Some of us weren't born with a silver spoon in our mouths." Then Melissa stared right through me and said, "You should be thanking me. Who else would have put up with your boring ass for this long? You're pathetic." I just smiled and told them to have fun explaining themselves to the detective the next day. I got home around midnight, backed everything up, and poured myself something strong. I slept like a log, best sleep I'd had in ages. The following morning, I officially pressed charges. Their parents have been blowing up my phone ever since. Ethan's mom even had the audacity to tell me I was ruining her son's life over a simple misunderstanding. I got them good. It's been a whirlwind of a month since then. After I filed the report and handed over the evidence, the DA decided to go after them. Ethan and Melissa were hit with conspiracy to commit fraud and identity theft. Turns out she'd been using my info to open credit cards. They were arrested, booked, and let out on bail, but they can't contact me. That hasn't stopped their friends and family from hounding me. Ethan's older brother even showed up at my job, making a huge scene about how I'm ruining their lives over a joke gone wrong. Security had to throw him out. Afterward, my boss wanted the whole story, so I had to spill the beans. Now, basically, the whole office knows my personal life. Then Melissa's folks dropped off a casserole at my place with a note, practically pleading for me to let things go, claiming their precious daughter just messed up and didn't mean any harm. Seriously, the nerve. The detective on the case said he's hardly ever seen such a planned-out financial scheme between a couple, and he was especially freaked out by the super detailed timeline they came up with. It all started last week when I noticed 12 grand gone from my savings. The bank confirmed multiple transfers. Turns out it went into an account under Ethan's mom's name. Melissa had been watching me type in my banking password and taking pictures of my financial stuff. She'd been secretly moving money for ages straight into their wedding fund. The bank is looking into it, but I feel so violated. I changed all my passwords and got new credit cards just to be safe. The district attorney tacked on theft charges because of the money they'd already stolen. Then their lawyer made an offer. If I dropped the conspiracy charges, they'd cop to plain old theft and pay me back. I told my lawyer to tell them to take a hike. Ethan's sister even made a TikTok, pretending I was some obsessed ex who couldn't get over a breakup and was just making up stories about me, saying I was stalking them or something. It racked up thousands of views before it got taken down. The way they rewrite reality is insane. What really messes me up is realizing that this person I thought was my closest friend actually hated me. One email I found explained how he always resented being compared to me, and how stealing everything I had would somehow level the playing field. We'd been friends for 2 whole decades, and he was just simmering with bitterness the whole time. The preliminary hearing was set for the next month, and I got cameras put up around my place. 3 months later after that hearing, with all the evidence stacked against them, both Ethan and Melissa took deals. Ethan got a year, with a shot at parole after just 4 months, plus 3 years of probation. Melissa got 10 months with a chance at parole after 3 and the same probation rules. They both had to pay back what they took, plus cover the damages. The judge pointed out how they'd planned it all out in detail when deciding on their sentences. Ethan completely lost it and started bawling at the sentencing, not because he felt bad, but because he felt sorry for himself. He actually told the judge, "This is going to ruin my life." The judge basically said, "You did that to yourself when you decided to commit this fraud." Melissa stayed completely stone-faced. The only time she showed any emotion was when the judge said her felony record would stick with her, meaning she couldn't get a job in pharmaceutical sales. Her face went totally pale. Turns out she'd never even worked in pharmaceutical sales. It was all a front. She'd been out of work for years, living off Ethan. After my lawyer sent cease and desist letters, their families finally left me alone. Ethan's mom eventually sent a handwritten apology, saying her son's actions were wrong, and that she'd been blinded by being a mom. Ryan hit me up, saying Ethan had been trash-talking me for ages. Back when we were all back home, I never really believed those kinds of stories, so it felt weird when I saw Ethan got engaged, and then realized I was with the same girl. That whole thing made him suspicious, and that's what made him text me that day. A bunch of people from back home have said sorry for believing Ethan's crap. I moved to a new house because I couldn't stand being in the old one, the one where Melissa lived, plotting to ruin me financially. I'm going on a trip next month, something I always wanted to do but always put off. Sometimes I think about whether there were clues I missed, if there was a moment when our friendship died and became this messed up bitterness. But I'm trying not to obsess over it. To anyone going through something similar, listen to your instincts, keep records, and remember that what someone else does says everything about them, not about you. 6 months later, here's the final update. Ethan and Melissa are still locked up, though Ethan's up for parole next month. His mom asked if I would write something to help him get out early. I didn't answer her. I moved to a new city, landed an even better job with a 15% raise. My new place is smaller than my old house, but it's all mine. And nobody here knows my story unless I decide to talk about it in therapy, which I'm doing regularly, trying to deal with the betrayal without getting completely wrecked. My therapist says it's totally normal to have a hard time trusting people after what happened. But the point is, I can't let Ethan and Melissa win. I actually went on my first date last week since the whole mess. We just grabbed coffee, kept it low-key. I caught myself asking some really weird, suspicious questions, then had to apologize. She was super cool about it, though, once I explained. We're going out again next weekend. The whole thing blew up in the local and regional news. A bunch of people from my hometown reached out, some even admitting they'd believed Ethan's lies about me for years. This one guy from college said he always thought I was a total jerk, all because of what Ethan had told him. It's so crazy to find out someone you trusted was trying to completely wreck my life. Sometimes the anger still hits me like a ton of bricks, not just the betrayal, but all the time and energy I wasted on people who saw me as nothing more than a walking piggy bank. That evidence, man, it still freaks me out. Seeing Melissa's plans to screw me over, Ethan cracking jokes about being my best man while they were plotting to clean out my accounts. But most days, I'm doing okay. I've gotten back in touch with real friends, made some new ones, and even fixed things with family I'd lost touch with. If you're wondering if they faced any consequences, nope. They both still claim it was all a joke, a big misunderstanding, and they never actually planned to do it. They said that $12,000 they stole was just a loan. So the story they're spinning is that I blew things way out of proportion over a stupid joke and some money they borrowed without asking. Honestly, I don't give a hoot what they think anymore. Their opinion means absolutely nothing to me. I'm done with all that. Going through something like this? Hang in there, get proof of everything, you know. Remember, what other people do doesn't say anything about you. You're awesome no matter what they pull. Okay, I'm out. Time to look ahead. Like they say, living your best life is the best way to get back at someone who hurt you, and things are already so much better without them in my life.